My sister bought a yacht with my $50,000 house down payment. Now my parents want me to give her another $50,000. So I purchased the house she wanted and offered her a lease at full market price. Hey everyone, hit subscribe to join our community and drop a comment telling us where you're from. Now let's get into this story. The text message glowed on my phone at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Mom, your sister found the perfect house. She needs help with the down payment. Family meeting tonight at 7. Don't be late. I stared at my ceiling in my downtown apartment, the one I'd saved 3 years to afford. The building where I lived alone because I'd spent my 20s building a career in pharmaceutical sales while my younger sister, Ashley, bounced between finding herself and exploring opportunities. My phone buzzed again. Dad, this is important. Ashley's finally getting serious about her future. We're counting on you. The weight in my stomach wasn't surprise. It was recognition. I'd felt this feeling before. If you've ever been the family's walking wallet, tap that like button. This story goes places. I arrived at my childhood home at 6:55 p.m., 5 minutes early like always. Ashley's car wasn't there yet. Neither was her responsibility, apparently. Mom opened the door wearing her church dress, the one she wore when she needed something. Oh sweetie, thank you for coming. Pour yourself some sweet tea. Your sister should be here any minute. Dad sat in his recliner, newspaper open, but I could see he wasn't reading. His eyes tracked me as I moved through the living room. How's work? He asked, his version of small talk before big requests. Busy. I closed the Morrison account last week. 7 figures. That's nice. No congratulations. No pride. Just acknowledgement that I had money, which meant they could ask for it. Ashley breezed in at 7:23, 23 minutes late, smelling like expensive perfume I knew she couldn't afford. Her highlight was fresh, her nails professionally done, her designer bag a birthday gift from Mom and Dad last year swinging from her shoulder. Sorry. Traffic was insane. It wasn't. We lived in a town of 40,000 people. She hugged me like we were close. We weren't. Drop a comment if you recognize this dynamic. Let's sit down, Mom said, gesturing to the dining room table. A folder sat in the center, suspiciously prepared. Ashley opened it with dramatic flair. So, I've been working with this amazing realtor, Brenda, and we found Tea House. Like, the one. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, completely renovated kitchen, gorgeous backyard for when I have kids someday. She slid photos across the table. The house was beautiful. Craftsman style, wraparound porch, mature trees. I recognized the neighborhood where properties started at $425,000. It's listed at $438,000, Ashley continued. Brenda says we can probably get it for $430,000 if we move fast. But here's the thing. She paused for effect. I need $50,000 for the down payment. Silence hung in the air. And closing costs, Dad added. Maybe another $8,000 for those. I set down my tea carefully. That's $58,000. We're thinking $60,000 to be safe, Mom said. You know, for any inspections or repairs that come up. Where's your down payment? I asked Ashley directly. She waved her hand dismissively. I've got some savings, but not enough. And my credit isn't great, so I need to show strong financials to the bank. How much do you have saved? Her eyes flickered to Mom. Like, $3,000. But I've been paying rent for years. That's basically the same as a down payment. It absolutely was not. If this sounds familiar, make sure to subscribe. Ashley's 32, Dad said, his voice taking on that firm tone. She needs to build equity. Stop throwing money away on rent. You understand that, right? You own your place. I saved for 3 years for my down payment, I said quietly. Worked extra contracts. Skipped vacations. And we're so proud of you, Mom jumped in. Which is why we know you understand how important homeownership is. You can help your sister achieve the same thing. The manipulation was so smooth I almost missed it. Almost. This is a loan, right? I asked. Ashley's smile tightened. Well, I mean, I'll pay you back eventually. Once I'm settled and stable. So not a loan. A gift. Don't be like that, Dad said. Family helps family. When you needed help with college, you took out Parent Plus loans that I've been paying off for 7 years, I interrupted. I've sent you $847 every month since I graduated. That's $71,000 total. For loans in your name that you promised to handle. The room temperature dropped 10 degrees. Share this if you've been guilt-tripped like this. We never asked you to do that, Mom said. You called crying about foreclosure. Said you couldn't afford both the house payment and my student loans. That was a difficult time, Dad muttered. And I helped. I've always helped. But let's not pretend there's a precedent of me receiving family financial support. Ashley leaned forward, her eyes doing that thing where they got shiny but no tears actually fell. I can't believe you're being so selfish about this. I'm trying to build a life. With my money. It's not like you need it. You make, what, $180,000 a year. The fact that she knew my salary told me they'd been planning this conversation for a while. My income isn't the point. Then what is? Mom's voice turned sharp. You'd rather your sister stay stuck in that apartment with the leaky faucet and the weird neighbors? You'd rather she never build any wealth or stability? The guilt landed like it was supposed to. Except this time, I recognized the technique. My therapist had warned me about this. The way they'd frame my boundaries as character flaws. My success as obligation to fund their wants. Hit that subscribe button, this is about to get real. I'll think about it, I said, standing up. The offer expires Friday, Ashley said quickly. Brenda says there are 3 other families interested. I need an answer tomorrow. Then I guess you'll need to figure something else out. I left before the real guilt trip could start. Before Dad could talk about sacrifice. Before Mom could cry. Before Ashley could call me names under the guise of just being honest. My phone started ringing before I reached my car. Over the next 3 days, I received 4 to 7 text messages and 19 phone calls. A sampling. Mom, please reconsider. Your sister is devastated. Dad, what happened to the girl we raised? The one who cared about family. Ashley, I hope you're happy knowing you destroyed my dreams. Aunt Linda, who I barely knew your mother told me what you did. Shame on you. Ashley's best friend Madison, Ashley is crying constantly. Is $60,000 really worth your sister's happiness? The coordination was impressive, honestly. Wednesday night, I drove past the house Ashley wanted. Sat in my car across the street. Watched the lights inside, imagined the family who lived there now. Researched the listing. Called my own realtor. Comment below if you see where this is going. Thursday morning, I made an offer $445,000. All cash, 15-day close. The sellers accepted by noon. I didn't tell anyone. Friday evening, my phone rang. Ashley, sobbing so hard I could barely understand her. Someone bought it. Someone bought my house. We were supposed to make an offer today, but you didn't give me the money, and now it's gone. It's gone. Are you happy now? I'm sorry that happened, I said truthfully. You're sorry? You're sorry? This is your fault. If you'd just helped me like family is supposed to, I'd be a homeowner right now. Instead, some rich asshole swooped in and stole my future. Ashley. Don't. Just don't. I never want to speak to you again. She hung up. Mom called 30 seconds later. I hope you can live with yourself. Your sister is destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. I let her vent for 6 minutes before I hung up too. Make sure you're subscribed, because the next part is satisfying. 2 weeks passed. Radio silence from my family, which was actually peaceful. I worked. I went to yoga. I had dinner with my actual friends, the ones who supported me without wanting anything. Then I got a text from Ashley. Can we talk? In person? We met at a coffee shop. She looked tired, her usual Polish dimmed. She ordered a latte, looked at me expectantly until I paid for it. I wanted to apologize, she started. I was upset. I said things I didn't mean. Okay. The thing is, Brenda found another house. It's not as perfect, but it's still really good. 3 bedrooms, smaller yard, but the bones are great. Here we go, I thought. It's $389,000. So I'd need less for the down payment. Maybe $45,000? I sipped my coffee. Said nothing. Or $40,000. I could make $40,000 work. No. Her face crumpled. You're seriously going to let me lose another house? You're not losing anything. You never had it. I can't believe this. After everything Mom and Dad have done for you. This was my moment. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and turned it toward her. See this transaction? September 15th, 3 years ago. $8,000 to you for emergency car repairs. Your Instagram that week showed you at a beach resort in Florida. Her face paled. If you're loving this, hit that like button. I scrolled. December 2020. $5,000 for a dental emergency. You posted pictures of your new designer coat the next day. February 2021. $6,500 for certification courses to become a personal trainer. You never completed the program. May 2021. $4,200 for medical bills. You used it for a trip to Nashville with Madison. How do you? I document everything now. Learned that lesson from therapy. I kept scrolling. July 2021. $3,800 for rent when you got unexpectedly laid off. You weren't laid off. You quit because your boss asked you to work weekends. October 2021. $7,000 for a laptop and camera equipment for your YouTube channel. You posted 4 videos total. January 2022. $5,500 for that online business course. The one that was definitely not a pyramid scheme but absolutely was. I looked up at her. Should I continue? I've got 3 years of this. Ashley's jaw clenched. Those were loans. Show me one repayment. 1. She couldn't. The total is $68,347. Not including the college loans I pay Mom and Dad for. We can add those if you want. That's another $71,000. I didn't know about those. Because it's not about you knowing. It's about them making me responsible for everyone's choices. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. She stood up. You know what? Keep your money. I don't need you. Mom and Dad said they'd take out a loan for me. My blood went cold. They can't afford that. Not my problem. You forced this. She left her half-finished latte on the table. I called Mom immediately. Tell me you're not taking out a loan for Ashley's house. We're doing what parents do, Mom said coldly. Since our other daughter won't help her sister. You're on a fixed income. You can't afford a $50,000 loan. We'll manage. With what money? Your Social Security barely covers your bills now. That's our concern, not yours. The call ended. I sat in my car, furious. They were going to destroy their retirement to fund Ashley's fantasy. And when they couldn't make payments, guess who they'd call? That night, I made a decision. The closing on the house Ashley originally wanted was in 3 days. I attended alone, signed the papers, got the keys. The house was mine. Then I called Ashley. I have a proposition for you, I said. I told you, I don't need the house you wanted. The craftsman with the wraparound porch. I can get you in there. Silence. Then, what are you talking about? Meet me there tomorrow at 2 p.m. Come alone. If this story is hitting different, drop a comment. Ashley pulled up at 2:03 p.m. the next day. I was sitting on the porch steps, the steps that were now legally mine. Why are we here? She asked, suspicious. Because I own it. She froze. What? I bought this house. Cash offer, closed 3 days ago. It's mine. The color drained from her face. You bought my house. You bought my house. It was never your house. This is insane. Why would you do this? I stood up, pulled out a folder from my bag. Here's a lease agreement. Market rate rent for this area is $2,400 per month. I'm offering it to you for exactly that. First month, last month, and security deposit due at signing. That's $7,200 total. She stared at the papers like they were written in a foreign language. You're trying to be my landlord? I'm offering you the house you wanted. On terms you can actually afford without destroying mom and dad's retirement. Share this if you believe in tough love. I wanted to OWN it. To build equity. With money you don't have and won't save. Ashley, you make $38,000 a year. You spend $400 a month on your nails. You lease a car you can't afford. You're not financially ready to own a home. That's not your call to make. It is when you expect me to fund it. Her hands shook as she held the lease. Mom and Dad are going to lose it when they find out about this. Probably. They'll never forgive you. They might not. But they also won't destroy their credit and retirement for a house you'd lose to foreclosure in 2 years. That landed. She knew I was right. Her face showed it. The offer stands for 48 hours, I said. After that, I'm listing it for rent publicly. I left her standing there, papers in hand. Mom called that evening, screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. You bought that house out from under your sister? That is the most spiteful, vindictive thing I have ever heard. I bought a house as an investment property. Don't play games with me. You knew she wanted it. And I'm offering to rent it to her at fair market rate. She wants to OWN a home, then she should save for one she can actually afford. You've always been jealous of her, Mom spat. Ever since she was born. You can't stand to see her happy. Hit subscribe, this gets better. The accusations kept coming. I was selfish. Cruel. Heartless. I'd always thought I was better than everyone. I was ruining Ashley's life on purpose. I let Mom talk herself out. Then I said quietly, I'm not taking out another dollar for Ashley. Not for houses, not for cars, not for emergencies. If you and Dad want to bankrupt yourselves to enable her, that's your choice. But I'm done participating. Then don't bother coming around anymore. If you're not family when it matters, you're not family at all. She hung up. The next morning, Dad sent a single text, your mother is heartbroken. Hope you're satisfied. I blocked both their numbers. Ashley signed the lease on the 47th hour. She moved in 2 weeks later with help from friends. Not family. Mom and Dad refused to participate in what they called my humiliation of their daughter. The lease was standard. Rent due on the 1st, late after the 5th. No smoking, no unauthorized occupants, no major alterations without permission. Professional and clean. She lasted 4 months. If you've ever had to be the bad guy to save someone, comment below. Month 1, rent arrived on the 3rd. Fine. Month 2, rent arrived on the 7th. I assessed the late fee per the lease. She called me crying about how unfair it was. Month 3, rent arrived on the 15th. Another late fee. She showed up at my apartment demanding I waive it. I didn't. Month 4, no rent. She stopped answering my calls. I drove to the house. Her car was there. I knocked. Ashley answered in pajamas at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. The rent is 10 days late, I said. I don't have it. Where's your paycheck? I quit that job. My boss was toxic. Her third job in a year. Ashley, this is a legal contract. You're really going to evict your own sister? I'm going to enforce the lease you signed. She slammed the door in my face. I filed eviction paperwork the next day. It felt like swallowing glass, but the alternative was letting her live rent-free in a house I was paying a mortgage on while she ordered DoorDash 4 times a week. The court date was set for 3 weeks out. Mom called from a number I didn't recognize. You're evicting her? Your own sister? She's not paying rent. Because she doesn't have it. She's struggling. She went to a concert last weekend. I saw the Instagram posts. $300 tickets. Silence. You're monitoring her social media now? I'm observing that she has money for concerts but not rent. I can't believe what you've become, Mom whispered. Your grandmother would be ashamed. Grandma Helen had actually left me a small inheritance 2 years ago, $30,000 that I'd invested. But Mom didn't know that. Mom assumed I'd spent it or shared it. Make sure to like and subscribe, the ending is worth it. The eviction hearing was brief. Ashley showed up without a lawyer, wearing ripped jeans and an attitude. The judge reviewed the lease, the payment history, and the messages where Ashley admitted she didn't have rent. Ms. Patterson, the judge said to Ashley, do you dispute that you signed this lease agreement? No, but she's my sister. This is different. The lease makes no mention of familial relationships affecting the terms. Do you have the back rent owed? No, but. Then I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff. You have 30 days to vacate the property. Ashley's face crumbled. She looked at me like I'd stabbed her. I felt nothing but relief. She moved back in with Mom and Dad, who suddenly had room for her now that I was the villain. Their fixed income could apparently support 3 people when it meant proving a point about my cruelty. For 6 months, I was the family pariah. No Christmas invitation. No Easter brunch. Radio silence. Then something shifted. If this resonates, share it with someone who needs to hear it. My cousin Michelle reached out. We'd never been close, but she'd heard the story from Mom's side and wanted to hear mine. I told her everything. Showed her the documentation. The years of loans never repaid. The patterns of financial irresponsibility. The choice between enabling Ashley's fantasy or protecting Mom and Dad's retirement. Holy shit, Michelle said. Aunt Karen made it sound like you bought the house specifically to hurt Ashley. I bought it because she couldn't afford it, and I could. Michelle nodded slowly. My mom does the same thing to me. Different details, same guilt. She started telling other family members. The truth spread slowly, then quickly. Uncle Tom called. Your mother isn't speaking to me, but I wanted you to know you did the right thing. Someone had to stop that train wreck. My grandmother's sister, Aunt Bea, 91 years old and sharp as ever, sent me a card. Your grandmother would be proud. She always worried you were too soft. Glad to see you found your spine. 8 months after the eviction, I rented the house to a lovely couple with excellent credit and stable jobs. They paid on time, maintained the yard, and treated my property with respect. The rental income covered the mortgage with $600 left over. I put it in a savings account labeled Future Investment Properties. 10 months after the eviction, Ashley texted from a new number. Can we talk? Subscribe to see how this ends. We met at the same coffee shop. She looked different, hair pulled back simply, less makeup, clothes from Target instead of boutiques. I got a job, she said. Customer service at the insurance company. It's boring, but it's stable. That's good. And I'm seeing a financial counselor. The free kind, through a non-profit. That's really good, Ashley. She twisted her napkin. I wanted to apologize. For real this time. Not because I want something, but because I owe you that. I waited. I've been thinking about everything. How I lived. How I treated money. How I treated you. She looked up, and for the first time in years, I saw my little sister instead of an entitled stranger. You were right. About all of it. I wasn't ready to own a house. I'm still not ready. I probably won't be for years. It takes time to build financial stability. I know that now. The counselor showed me this plan: pay off my credit cards, build an emergency fund, save for a real down payment. It's going to take like 5 years. But you'll actually own it when you do. She smiled, small and genuine. Yeah, I will. We talked for an hour. Really talked, not her performing and me defending. She told me about the wake-up call of eviction. How scary it was to realize she was 33 with no savings, no assets, and no plan. How Mom and Dad's house felt suffocating because she could see her future there, 50 years old, still dependent, still making excuses. If you've been waiting for this moment, hit that like button. Are Mom and Dad still mad? I asked. Furious. But they're mad at me too now. I couldn't pay them rent either, and they realized they can't actually afford to support me. We're all kind of miserable together. That's not healthy. I know. I'm saving to get my own place. An apartment, something I can actually afford. The counselor says maybe in 6 months. That's a good goal. She picked at her muffin. I know I can't pay you back all the money I borrowed. It's like $70,000. That's insane. It is insane. But I want to try. Even if it takes forever. Can we set up like a payment plan or something? I considered this. Not because I needed the money, but because she needed to do it. $200 a month, I said. No interest. If you miss a payment, we pause, we don't cancel. Life happens. Her eyes filled with actual tears this time. Seriously? Seriously. But Ashley, if you miss 3 payments in a row, the plan ends. Not as punishment, but as proof you're not ready. That's fair. We drew up a simple agreement on a coffee shop napkin. She signed it. So did I. That was 18 months ago. Comment below if you're rooting for redemption. Ashley hasn't missed a single payment. She moved into a studio apartment 4 months after our coffee shop meeting. It's small, kind of dated, but it's hers. She pays $950 a month and has never been late. She posts pictures of her cooking budget meals, her thrift store finds, her slowly growing savings account. No more designer bags. No more lash extensions. No more pretending she's living a life she can't afford. Mom and Dad still don't talk to me. Christmas cards go to Ashley's place, not mine. I've made peace with it. Some relationships can't be fixed because both parties need to want to fix them. But I have Ashley back. The real one, not the entitled version they created. Last month, she texted me, emergency fund hit $2,000. First goal complete. I sent her a gif of someone celebrating. She sent back, thank you. For everything. For being the only one who loved me enough to let me fail. That message is printed and framed on my desk. The house I bought, Ashley's house, the one that started this whole thing, is still a rental property. Good tenants, steady income. I bought a second property last year. Building a portfolio, being smart with money the way I wish someone had taught me earlier. If this story spoke to you, share it. Sometimes love looks like saying no. Sometimes family means setting boundaries that feel cruel but are actually kind. Sometimes the person who stops enabling you is the person who saves you. Thanks for watching this journey. If you've ever had to be the tough love person in your family, drop a comment with your story. And remember, you don't owe anyone access to your bank account just because you share DNA. Please share this video if you believe in teaching financial responsibility through action, not just words. Subscribe for more real stories about family, money, and the courage to choose yourself.